Good evening, parents of the West Shore School District, and welcome to the Boiling Point. This is Mariana, and it's that time of year again where we have to review the PPRA. So the schools are starting to hand out surveys, okay, to our students. Now, to the parents that are asking me whatever happened with that toggle or link that we were supposed to hit to be able to opt out our children from the very beginning from all surveys, your guess is as good as mine. I did go into the website and I called some other parents to do the same, and we went in search of it and we didn't find it. So either they did not follow through with it, meaning the administration, or they have it probably hidden over under like 30 different links that you have to hit before you get to it, because the administration is notorious for that. So my guess is as good as yours. What I would encourage you to do is email the board and ask them whatever happened with the idea, okay, of the opt out link that all the parents were pretty much in favor of. Now, email them. They might give you an answer, they might not. I don't know what to tell you. But there is something, though, that I did appreciate. And that is that email went out. So check your emails. Okay, the email went out for the first survey, which is the PACE 2025 survey. The email went out and it did give an opt out link, okay, there, and it actually gave after the propaganda stuff, it did give a link where you can actually get the questions, okay, that's on that survey. And that was good to see, because if you remember 2 3 years ago, um they didn't want to give parents access to these questions, and they didn't want to give some of the board members access to these questions either, if you remember. But me and my partner in crime, Christy, started digging, and we found it ourselves. And to my understanding, Mr. Stoltz was not too happy that we posted it. And we posted it because the parents have the right to know we are the taxpayer, okay? And these are our children. We are the primary stakeholders, not the teachers, not the school board, not the counselors, we, the parents. All right. So these surveys are going to be distributed to your students October 14th and October 24th. But you can still opt out using that link. And I also put that link on our Facebook page. It's only a small window that administration gave you guys, okay? A very small window. So that you have to opt out by October 8th. And I would encourage you to opt out, and you will understand in a minute why. All right, so let's review the PPRA. Do you guys remember that from last year? Well, I'm going to try to cover this every year, okay, if time allows. Now, the PPRA, okay, was created um, to protect students from being asked questions that could reveal sensitive information about their personal lives. So here are some examples of questions that are not allowed under the PPRA. Political beliefs. Schools cannot ask students about their political beliefs or affiliation. Mental health. Questions about mental health problems or challenges are prohibited. Sexual behavior. Schools cannot inquire about a student's sexual behaviors or attitudes. Illegal behaviors. Question regarding illegal or self-incriminating, and please keep in mind of that term right there. Self-incriminating behaviors are not permitted. Family relationship. Critical appraisals of people with close family relationships are not allowed. Religious beliefs. Inquiries about a student's religious beliefs or practices are not covered. Okay? Not allowed. Income. School cannot ask about the student's income level unless it is determined. Eligibility for participating in programs or receiving financial aid assistance under such programs. These restrictions are in place to protect students' privacy and ensure that the sensitive information is not disclosed without their consent. Parents have the right to opt out of participation in surveys that gather this information, and schools must provide notice and an opportunity to opt out to the parents. So, these are the things that they are not allowed to ask. So, I want you to keep in mind. Now, I'm not going to read all 10 pages because there is 10 pages. If you do not have access to a printer, okay, um, and you want a copy of the actual questions, feel free to contact me either through Facebook or through the boarding point. Jonathan knows exactly how to contact me, and I will make sure to either email you a copy if you prefer to receive it by email or mail you a copy. I'll be more than glad to do that for you. Okay. And you don't have to be a parent. You can be a grandparent, an uncle, because you are the stakeholders. Okay. So let's get into the survey. Now I'm going to read from the survey, but I'm going to put the PPRA back on the screen. And as I read some of these questions, I'm not going to go through the whole 10 pages because, time is of the essence right now. But it's going to give you an idea of what sort of questions are being asked on these surveys. So here we go. All right, here we go. Have you ever had beer, wine, or hard liquor? Have you ever used marijuana, pot, hash, cannabis, weed, THC? Have you ever sniffed glue, breathed the contents in of an aerosol spray can, or inhale other gases or sprays in order to get high? Now, right there, guys, they're asking questions, self-incriminating behavior, and that's not permitted as per the PPRA. Um, have you ever taken enhancing drugs such as steroids, human growth hormones, without a doctor telling you to take them or prescribing them to you? Another violation. Have you ever used prescription stimulants such as Ritalin or Adderall without a doctor telling you you have to take them? Have you ever used a synthetic drug, man-made drugs such as K2, spice, fake weed, or bath salts? Have you ever smoked cigarettes, used smokeless tobacco, used electronic vapor products such as e-cigarettes, vapes, mods, e-cigs, e-hookahs, or vape pens? Have you ever used hallucinogens, such as acid, LSD, shrooms, ecstasy, or Molly? So, do you guys already see this is in violation of the PPRA? And this is just the first page. Why do they need to know this? Okay, this is not their business as per the PPRA. All right, so they have a whole bunch of questions here and they just ask and re-ask the questions in different forms to see if the child bites. Okay, here's another one. Think back over the last 2 weeks. How many times have you had five or more alcoholic drinks in a row? Self-incriminating questions. There is another section called, now this section that I read to you is under alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. Okay. The second section, I'm just picking some questions out, is called, these questions ask about school, neighborhood, and community where you live. During the last 4 weeks, how many whole days of school have you missed because you skipped or cut? An incriminating question. Um, Now, thinking back over the past year in school, how often did you hate being in school? I mean, like really, people, really. Um, I used to be one of those nerds that I used to like school. Okay, and I still do. I still like to continue learning. Okay. But by the most part, most kids don't want to be there. So they're going to say that they hate it. Does it mean that they hate it? No, it just means that, that's the term that they use to say that they dislike it. So what is even the purpose of that question? Um, there are a lot of chances in my school for students to talk one-on-one with a teacher. That's a yes or no. I feel safe at my school. Okay. How easy how easy would it be for you or anybody else to get any of the following: beer, hard liquor, whiskey, gin, rum, vodka? How easy would it be for you to get cigarettes? How easy would it be for you to get a handgun? So here we go, asking about guns, people. Asking about guns, okay? How easy would it be for you to get if you wanted to get any of the following: a drug like cocaine, LSD, heroin, amphetamines? How easy would it be for you to get marijuana? How easy would it be for you to get prescription drugs not prescribed to you? So again, these are self-incriminating questions. Those are illegal behaviors here on the PPRA. These are self-incriminating questions. Now here's another section. These questions are about your family. Now they want to know what's happening behind your doors. My parents ask me what I think before most family decisions affecting me are made. That's none of your business. Um, if I have a personal problem, I can ask my parents. Why are you asking that? How often do your parents tell you that they're proud of you? Okay. This is critical appraisals of people with close family relationships are not allowed. That's another violation, family relationship. Do you feel very close to your parents? Do you share your thoughts and feelings with your parents? Do you enjoy spending time with your parents? When I am at home, my parents know where I am and who am I with. Why is that any of their business? If you skip school, will you be caught by your parents? Um, will your parents know if you not come home on time? The rules in my family are clear. Why is that your business? People in my family often insult or yell at each other. Okay? Family relationships, they're violating it again. Um, people in my family have serious arguments. And here comes some more incriminating questions. If you drank beer or wine or whiskey or any kind of alcohol, will you get caught? How many people over the age of 18 do you personally know have gotten drunk or high? They want to know what's happening behind these doors, folks. How many people above the age of 18 in the past have used marijuana, crack, or other drugs? How many people over the age of 21 have you known personally in the past who sold or dealt drugs? How many of those over the age of 21 have you known personally who in the past year done other things that could get them in trouble with the police, like stealing, selling stolen goods, mugging, or assaulting others? Does your siblings drink beer, wine, whiskey, vodka regularly? How many of your siblings smoke cigarettes and use marijuana? How many of your brothers and sisters took a handgun to school? Here it goes again with the guns, guys. How many of your brothers and sisters been suspended or expelled? Has anyone in your family have a severe alcohol or drug problem? My family has clear rules about alcohol and drugs. How will your parents feel if you pick a fight with someone? Does your parent think it's wrong or feel that it's wrong? If you will steal anything worth than $5, let's clear this up. Stealing is a crime, whether it's a penny, okay, or it's $5,000. So, I mean, what is the purpose of these questions? Again, they're getting into critical appraisal of people with close relationship, and that is not allowed, okay, at all. These are questions that are not allowed. Um, how will your parents feel if you use marijuana? So these are the questions, and there are more. I'm only cherry picking a few here, okay? And they have questions here about you and your friends. They say the category says you and your friends, but the questions are a little bit deeper, more than that, and you will see. My overall mental health in the past has been good. Mental health questions or mental problems and challenges are forbidden, prohibited. That's another violation. How often do you attend religious service or activities? Religious belief. That is prohibited. Sometimes I think life is not worth it. At times I think I am no good at all. All in all, I am inclined to think that I am a failure. Mental health, people, do you see this? Mental health. If you have felt sad, lonely, or worried in the past month, who did you talk to? Mental health. Mental health. How many times have you done crazy things, even if they are a little bit dangerous? Mental health. Okay. So they are asking mental health questions, guys. Okay. How much do you think people risking? How much do you think people risk harming themselves? In ways of they take 5 drinks or more. How many cigarettes per day? How much marijuana? How much prescription drugs that are not prescribed to them are they taking? How much do you think people risk harming themselves if they use electronic vapor or vape? Answer. Carry the handgun. Here it goes, the guns again. So do you guys see where I'm going with this? And this question is under questions about you and your friend. No, these questions under that category is mental health questions. Okay, mental health questions, which is forbidden. Okay, um, PPRA. Then from that, they have questions about gambling. Okay, if they gamble, how much do they bet? Are they doing fantasy sports, poker, card game? I mean, again, self-incriminating questions. They have a category. Ask about experiences at school, in home, or in your community. How many times have you been threatened to be hit or beaten up on school property? Well, if you're in the West Shore School District, that's probably every day. Been attacked and hit by someone beaten up on the school property. Been offered or given or sold alcohol. Okay. Um, how often do you participate in after school activities or on weekends in the schools? Well, or maybe they don't participate in school stuff. I mean, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Or how many times do you participate in faith-based activities? Here we go again, religious beliefs. Okay, they're not allowed to ask that. In the past 12 months, did you ever live away from your parents because you were kicked out, ran away, or were abandoned? Um, in the past 12 months, have you or your family lived in a shelter, hotel, motel, car, campground, or someone else's house due to loss of housing, lack of money, or didn't have any place to stay? They cannot ask about income, and they are. In the past 12 months, have you been arrested? Self-incrimination. Have you been drunk or high in school? Self-incrimination. Have you been suspended from school? Self-incrimination. Um, and they have some questions. Do adults at your school stop bullying when they see or hear it? You need to ask the parents that, because I'm sure that a couple of these parents have a good answer for that one. Have you stayed this year in school because you were worried about being bullied? Okay. Mental health, guys, mental health. Okay. How many times do you feel sad? Do you have a phone that you can go on the internet? Do you have a social media account? On a normal day, how much time you spend on social media? All these questions are out of line. All these questions, as you can see, are in violation of the PPRA. But yet they're giving this to your kids. They want to know what's happening basically behind your door. There's a lot of, excuse me, in almost every catalog, there's a lot of handgun questions, okay, a lot of mental health questions, and a lot of questions that the students are incriminating themselves if they answer this. Okay, so again, parents, um, you need to print this out. You need to read this yourself. You need to review this yourself. And to those parents who are as disgusted as I am with this, okay, you have a small window. They only gave you a small window of time to opt out, and you need to opt out by October 8th. These will be handed out to students, most likely by tablet, okay, to the students on October 14th and 24th. So if you do not want your child, okay, to be part of this mess, because that is what it is, a mess, opt your kids out by October 8th. I included the information on our Facebook page. The link is there. Check your emails. Okay, make sure that you got the email. There's a link right there in the email that you would need to um, click. It's towards the end because you got all the rah rah in between. Okay, but it's towards the end where you would need to opt your child out. Because if you think that the school's going to send you reminders, that the administration's going to send you reminders, no, because they want you to fill this out. Okay. If they get fundings and things of that nature, I believe so. I can be wrong. Okay. I believe they get a discount also in having to pay for this. If I was correct in the last meeting, like 2 years ago when they discussed this, I think it was like $1 per kid. Is what they have to pay out, something to that effect, or they pay in one or the other. But in order for them to get a discount on what they pay out, it's contingent that all the schools and all the students participate. This is why they're still pushing, this opt in, that everybody is opt in versus being opt out. And if we remember, that is not what has been spoken in the school board meetings. It was supposed to be they are all opt out and you're supposed to be able to opt them in, but they did the reverse. So, when it comes to that, all I can tell you is email the school board, get the answers to your questions. We do not see that link. And again, and I will close with this. They will be handing this out to your kids, probably by tablet, October 14th and October 24th, and you have until October 8th. You have until October 8th. Let's say it one more time. You have until October 8th to opt your children out. Now, that being stated, I will be re recording this message tomorrow in Spanish. And if you know anybody that only speaks Spanish, any parent, okay, that might not understand what's happening with these surveys, I will ask you to share out the video and I will be recording that tomorrow. Okay, because there's another community here that we have to reach out, and that is the Spanish speaking community, because they need to know, they need to be made aware that if they do not opt out, their children will be submitted to this. And also, they are looking to know what's happening behind your doors, and they're asking questions as we were able to see today that goes against the PPRA. Almost every question that I read to you, and they were quite a few, okay? There's many more that I didn't, because what they do is that they ask and re-ask the questions in different ways, okay, that are in violation of the PPRA. So with that being stated, opt out by October 8th. They will be giving this out to your children October 14th and 24th. Parents, we need to stay alert, and you need to remember that you are the primary stakeholder in your child's life, education, and future. So with this is Mariana, and I am logging out for the evening. Buenas noches. Good night.